YouTube! It's Typhy, and I'm back with another video. I don't know what to talk to y'all about today, y'all. I'm trying to be consistent, but I don't want that consistency to lack quality. But honestly, I didn't really have too much of nothing. Well, one, Breezy got sick this week, so I devoted a lot of my time helping nursing her back to health. So probably could have strung something together to shoot because there wasn't anything on the horizon really content wise. But I don't know about y'all, but at the end of the year I kind of have this, like, I don't want to say depleted, because I've been completing a lot of goals and I've been really showing up for myself in numerous ways, and a lot of things have been checked off the list for me this year. But at the end of the year, it's like, my cup is empty, so I need to fill it up. Either with inspiration, with a new direction. So at times I can get into this mode of being like, oh, what am I supposed to do? I'm not doing anything. Earlier I was so this and that, blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on, the impact of the things that I embarked upon this year. Just delve in a little about me. Let me grab some water first. So I really took this content / YouTube journey seriously more than a year ago, November of last year. It all started, one of my first viral-ish videos started from the audio from TD Jake saying,
"Have you ever been swallowed up?"
It went crazy. Was one of the first times that I really kind of went crazy. Which is funny. It only got like 70,000 plays, but at one point in time, I hadn't even had 2,000 followers. So I just kind of sat up one day. Well, one day I made a skit with an interview of Maya talking about eating healthy. And I made a skit off that just late night. And I started to see that people were kind of like showing interest, and I was getting some cool attention for it. Not that I was doing it for the attention, but after a while, certain things aren't getting any interactions or views. It kind of turns down your motivations to do it. But I was getting commentary and people were liking it. So I was like, let's see if I can get in the groove of this. So I told myself after that skit that I would post what began as 2 times a day became 3 times a day. And it yielded some cool results. And it's funny, if you I have almost 500 reels. Even more background, I was going through a breakup and I deleted everything off my page. And I was never really a fan of pictures, but I had told myself even early on in that process that I'm just going to post videos. I've always liked how I perceived myself on video. So I told myself, I'm just going to dedicate to just posting videos of myself. And even though I hadn't really done that, I had some little cool ideas that I executed here and there. A lot, the way I create content, I like to do things really quickly. I don't like to sit on ideas too long because it brings me anxiety, and I also my mind moves around. So if I sit on something too long, I'm eventually going to just move on from it. So I enhanced that with my new way of creating. So once I kind of saw, like, tested the waters with like earlier kind of just throwing together things I put on my page late at night, I decided I'm gonna post 2 to 3 times a day just so I could get in the groove. Because when it comes to doing something new, the most important, a really big part of breaking yourself into something new is the muscle memory portion. A lot of us get hung up for the functionality of something. So whether you haven't used a new function of your phone, or you got a new piece of technology and it's just sitting in the corner of your room, I noticed that once I get something, I usually gravitate toward it really quickly and kind of start playing with it and doodling it with it. And even if it isn't like perfect, which is another part of my artistic expression, embracing imperfection, even if it's not perfect, I still notice that just playing around with something and tinkering away at it really offers lends something to your creative muscle. So yeah, for, it was November. I want to say I started in November. Who knows? It could have been October. But anyway, I really started cranking away in November. I started using these. I didn't really have anyone to collab with, so I kind of wanted to make these scenarios due to the fact that I was single, of, having an encounter. So I took some leggings that I had bought for the winter, and I'd stuff them with shirts and use these fake socks. And I had made this whole little scenarios, and they started to get some traction in my community. And when I mean traction in my community, the numbers were hardly there, hardly cracking 500, which was good to me back then. But people in my community were coming up telling me like, yo, man, that thing that you made was so crazy, so crazy. And I found it to be gratifying in the way that out of all the things that I've created, I made music for however long, and I've acted for a long amount of time. But out of all my offerings, this one, due to the internet, seemed to be more accessible in the way that I was impacting people. I've always been known for the various talents that I have. I do a lot of things. I sing, dance, act, do a little visual art. I do a lot of stuff. Serial hobbyist, if you will. But I do a lot of stuff, and a lot of people know me for being a well-rounded kind of person. But I decided that I was gonna show myself more on the internet, which was a deeper foundation of why I started making content anyway. Because I was like, how do I show like my personality? I like crack myself up by myself because I think of all these things that come into my mind. And it's very dreamlike and at random, and very like, of course it's a source greater than I. But I think of a lot of just like funny, fleeting things, and I'll write them down, and it just it's like, what am I going to do with this? So with all that to say, the culmination of what the internet does, it has allowed me to really enhance my gifts functionality wise, but also it's allowed me to really kind of showcase the things that I think about and that I like and that entertain me. So with that being said, I just started cranking out videos, cranking them out 3 times a day, waking up early in the morning, trying to do at least 2 in the daytime, and then go to the gym, and then afterwards come up with another idea either after that or late at night. I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but being creative late at night is very relevant for me, because I don't necessarily want to be a night out. I definitely see the benefits of waking up in the morning, but there's something about the just like almost, I want to say 1:30, 2 a.m. where your ideas are just very vibrant and fresh. And ideas tend to come to me when I'm tired. And I don't know if any of you know about different energy waves of consciousness, but theta waves come to you when you're asleep. And a lot of the times, when you're memorizing, well, I don't know if you know, but sometimes while you're memorizing lines, it's a pretty dull process, and your brain will get tired, and sometimes you pass out. But I noticed that when I'm on the verge of going to sleep and I'm still dozing, whether I'm on the bed or I'm on a plane and I'm still kind of memorizing lines, I realize when I wake up that they're very, very fresh in my mind. And that's attributed to what scholars or teachers or gurus or what have you, that's attributed to theta waves. And theta waves are when your conscious are really rich and fresh. And it's when you're between the dream state and the wake state, that dozing. And you could quote me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there's plenty parts of that knowledge that I'm missing, but learning about that was really cool. And I attribute that a lot to when I feel like I'm like dozing off, or I want to take a nap, I get a lot of creative ideas. So I was really utilizing that time frame to create, and I was getting a little traction. And I told myself that I'm not going to worry about the results, because a lot of people, me included, get deterred when the results aren't there. And I just said, I'm just going to stick to what a lot of YouTubers or creatives online were saying: be consistent. A lot of people just say, a lot of people post every day. I haven't gotten to that groove yet. I don't know if I want to, maybe twice a week, because I really want to be more deliberate about what I post. But a lot of people in their earlier aughts of creating online, they post every day. And that's all so they can, stay in. It's all about the rhythm outside of the algorithm. But to me, the self rhythm's important. But I was posting a lot, 3 times a day, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. Getting some cool looks here and there, some comments from some people that I would see out in the community, but not necessarily talk to them. And I started to realize I was reaching people. So I really went semi-viral. I told myself, I'm gonna get my first viral post in December of last year. Didn't happen, but I went semi-viral. And when I say viral, I'm saying that your notifications and your mentions and things are blowing up. So at one point, even with that post, I noticed with posts that get more traction than usual, your likes, your follows, maybe not your follows, your notifications on your Instagram will be maxed out. They'll all be at 100. So I noticed that with the particular post. It was actually 2 posts, actually. One that went, the first post that really got traction was this one. I dressed up as an old guy. I did a remix. I really like to remix reels, if you can't tell. I did a remix reel with this old woman who was, I mean, she was up there, but she was still very spry and flexible. So I had to play off that. I have dirty humor. But I did that with like an old man and some stuffed legs with socks. And it got like 72,000 views. But then my reel, and I was getting a lot of hits from that. But then the January of earlier of this year, I went viral. I don't really know the designation. I heard viral is like 1 million in a week, which this didn't do, but it got like 300,000 something plays in its conception. But I did a skit with the TD Jakes audio as a slave writing to his master's wife, writing about an interaction that they had. And I look up and wake up in the morning and that Joan is going crazy. No. Actually, it was a lull. It was like up for like 3 or 4 days and nothing was going on. And I had been used to that, you know. I just get a couple comments here and there and some likes and some views. But then I noticed, I'm like, damn, I'm getting mentioned in a lot of stories right now. And I know something's really catching when it gets like, the most stories that I had running on a post was like 50, just back to back to back to back to back to back, same post. So it was cool to see this one every, you know, at this point I'm checking like every freaking, in an unhealthy way, like every 20 minutes, probably even more than that. I'm checking, wow, like, what are they saying? Liking people's comments, blah, blah, blah. And that was my first, and I'll consider it viral just because of the nature of how it was online. And I kind of completed that goal and I felt real happy. So after that, I was like, okay, I know that I am able to impact my community in a way with my humor. I've always been known as being a humorous person. All my friends are funny as heck. So now I'm like, okay, I know how to really affect the masses with this. So continued on posting. These didn't really do, the videos I'm going to talk about next didn't really do crazy numbers wise, but people in my community really appreciated it. In Denver, Colorado, and a lot of people were coming up to me in person like, dude, I saw those videos you made about growing up in Denver and the things that we used to go do. So I decided to do this, these Denver-based videos, and people really were stoked on them because a lot of times you see a lot of people have these regional specific vibes in their content, and Chicago is a big one, of course, Atlanta, of course, LA. They have these cultural things and these cultural affectations that they have when they live every day to day, whether it's the words that you say, the way you dress, blah, blah, blah. Being black in Denver, we had a very prevalent and fluent way of speaking, way of addressing things, and cultural things that we did as black youth and young adults in Denver. And a lot of that stuff has been forgotten now. And what really sparked it was these guys posted this, I'm from Denver and we walk around Sloan's Lake to pick up girls, and just like stuff that probably exists now, but you could tell they were obviously transplants, and as a lot of people are here. But I wanted to do a call to action, so to speak, and be like, come on, bro, come on. like you know nothing. Like I know you got your you live off, I don't know, Quitman Street and you share a house with three guys, and you probably go to, you know, you graduated from Metro and you moved here from wherever, and we know that that exists, but there's something far more dense and rich that you're missing out on. So I decided to highlight it, and even though it didn't get crazy plays, which going from 500 to eventually having 10,000 views on a video is a huge accomplishment for me. But I did a couple videos around this growing up in Denver. I did a I'm from Denver video, kind of combating the video I had saw. And then I did a Denver slang one, which we had a very, 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 very deep slang dictionary at one point. And it kind of comes from different regions of the United States, but a lot of this stuff is very specific to Denver. So you got to go a little deep in my page. The real ones know where these videos exist. But those were doing pretty cool, and they were fun to create. But what really, really popped me off, strangely enough, was I was in my living room of my apartment, as you can see, and I had saw this guy do Arnold Schwarzenegger doing Reading Rainbow. And I thought that was genius. I was like, man, like, and honestly, at one point I had a really good Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I got my tonsils taken out and it kind of took the resonance from it. I mean, it's still kind of there. It's still kind of there, but it's not really the same thing. You know, it is what it is. But I saw him do that, and weeks later, months later, for some reason, as ideas pop into my head, I was like, what if Maya Angelou sang That's So Raven? Oh, Orlando Brown had been cycling the internet for the past, I don't know, year and a half. You've been seeing him everywhere doing the 20v1s and the interviews. And watching him made me think of That's So Raven and how much I used to love Raven. I mean, she was a freaking hottie, like, and she was funny. So I love That's So Raven. I was watching Cheetah Girls. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was watching Cheetah Girls. It had me in a chokehold. Shout out to the fellas watching Cheetah Girls, man. But yeah. This is just a yap video. I'm yapping for y'all, you know? But anyway, I thought to myself, I was thinking of That's So Raven and how iconic that intro theme was. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if Maya Angelou sang it? So, Maya Angelou is one of the more prolific poets of our era. But for our generation, we find her voice to be absolutely hilarious. And I think it's because the seriousness, but the narrative attitude, almost akin to like a Morgan Freeman, and juxtaposing that with something more lighthearted, it just puts people in stitches. It cracks me up when I make it all the time. So I decided, you know, one day I was like cooking some fish or something, and just got on my Reels voiceover thing, and I was just like, let me try to cook this up. And I had this little setup, found the instrumental online. And literally the very first one I laid down was like perfect. And I was like, okay, that was easy. Did the ad-libs, posted that mug up. If Maya Angelou sang That's So Raven. And then I threw her picture there. And when I tell you, after I left the gym, it was like at like 5,000 plays or something. People laughing emojis, people just tagging people. Like, my reel box was just, my story reposting was maxed out. It was like 50. I was like, what in the heck? People are going crazy over this. And I found that to be that shit had me awestruck. I was like, what? Like, I did this again. I found something else. Cracked the code again. After that, I decided to make a couple more ones. Shortly after I did Girlfriends and Half. And it's funny because I always found these parts of TV very amusing, even though some of them are forgotten. But my whole place in how I create content is like taking things and smashing them together and creating something new and a new narrative. So if Eddie Murphy was in Creed, or if Maya Angelou sang these famous sitcom shows, like I like to, I'm somewhat of a pop culture historian. I think I would kill it in Jeopardy or Family Feud because I know so much about pop culture, especially being a millennial and the transition from like cable TV into the internet propelling everything, and Wi-Fi and Fios and all that. It's kind of created my foundations of this supercomputer of culture and subcultures. Everything from music to TV. I'm not really a movie buff, but I know a lot of references from years of movies and actors and actresses. And so that's how I like to explore what I do as a creator. But I decided to create 2 more videos. I did Girlfriends and then Half. Half is a more obscure UPN. I don't know if y'all know, elementary to middle school, coming home, eating dinner around 7, or we used to eat late because my parents got home late from work sometimes. But 8:30 is when UPN was really popping, and you would find Girlfriends or Half or One on One. And I should probably do One on One next. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of sick of doing Maya Angelou. The algorithm isn't really messing with it as much, but also I don't want to be known as the Maya Angelou guy. So I'm not really too upset that I have to do something else. But when I tell you, when that Girlfriends one hit, y'all, in 2 months, and I would say I made 4 videos. That's So Raven, Half, the Parkers, and the Girlfriends. That's So Raven only getting like 320 some thousand. I think it's like peaked at like 500,000. Half only really peaking at like 100 some thousand, I think. But between the Parkers and Girlfriends, Maya Angelou narratives of their sitcom themes, those combined had 7 million views. 7 million views. And I went from having almost 1,900 followers to 12,000 followers. It was crazy. I had never, ever, ever seen any type of social media impact like that. And I've always dreamed of it, you know, like I often thought that if I was like a part of a project or something, or if I released a music video, that it would just miraculously blow up like that. And sad to say, it wasn't until I started really experimenting with the content creation that that really happened. And a lot of creatives have a hard time with that. It's like, man, like I put so much into something and I'm not getting any traction, barely breaking 100 views. And I make these dumb little videos that it took me, no more than 10 minutes to make, some seconds to make, and they're getting so much pub. And I'm like completely blown away and very mystified by it. Because it's funny, but it's like, this is world renowned funny. But, you know, the internet's a mystery. A lot of people are trying to work it out, including me, even in a lot of the successes that I've seen. A lot of people ask me if I'm getting paid, and I'm like, y'all, I feel like once I hit 100,000 followers, then I'll really kind of get my feet wet in that way. And I'm a creative guy, and I'll be able to utilize a milestone like that. But even with 13.5 thousand followers, I still have yet to really scratch the surface of my potential online, and getting used to this algorithm stuff, and you know, the frustrations around that. I think I really need to collab more. So if you're creative and you have a cool idea and you watch my videos, all 20 of you, hit me up, because I'm really hungry right now. I have some cool camera gear. I'm getting new things every day because I'm really trying to enhance the experience. But yeah, I'm really running through the phone storage right now with this video, but just wanted to give y'all some more background on my inspiration and what I do and what brought me to where I'm at today. For those of you that support me, I really appreciate y'all. To my new supporters, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe. And thank y'all for tuning in again with Life with Typh. I'll see y'all Thursdays at 5. Peace!